Hey, what's up, guys? It's Apollo Uchiha here, back with a new story. The name of this story is What If Naruto Was Banished? And it was a story that I wrote down at the beginning of my channel, but I didn't quite uploaded it on the internet. And it's a two-part story, so yeah, it's a 1 hour part each, I guess. And I'm quite feeling sick. That is why I'm not uploading the whole story as a movie. So stay tuned for the part 2 of this story that will be uploaded tomorrow. And meanwhile, enjoy this. Anyways, if you haven't, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel and enjoy this video. Oh guys, a small disclaimer: if I stutter or quite pause or mispronounce anything, sorry about that in advance, because I'm not feeling well and I'm suffering from quite a short fever and my head is hurting like hell. And I thought of taking a break, but then I thought, why not just upload a video, new series that I found out in my register. So here you go, enjoy this. We all are gathered here today to see the justice occur to the demon boy, Naruto Uzumaki. His crime is almost killing our precious and loyal Sasuke Uchiha after having left the village due to Orochimaru's control over him. His executioner will be Sasuke himself. How in the world did it come to this? Thinks and awaiting Naruto. Flashback. I finally did it. I beat Sasuke. Now I'll be able to keep my promise to Sakura. Kid, you sure did. Great job there. Thanks, Q. But what do you think the council would do to you after seeing their precious Uchiha is hurt? I guess you're right. But it was a mission. Surely Bachan can do something. Oh, look, Kakashi saw on his way. Cutting the connection to see Kakashi heading towards him. Hey sensei, look, I... Then he fell unconscious. Waking up, he looked around and see that he's inside a hospital. Remembering what happened, he wants to get out of bed but is stopped by the newcomer. Whoa there, Naruto, take it easy. I see you're awake. Yeah, Shikamaru, is everything else alright? Is Sasuke back? Yeah, we finished the mission, Naruto, and it's all thanks to you. You did well, he said as he smiled at his friend. The blonde had surprised him a lot and he was grateful for what he had done. Say, where is everyone? How long was I out? Everyone's doing fine now. Before, not so much. Iba is getting discharged today, though. The others are sleeping, though. Get some rest as well. Then he left. The next day, as he was walking around the hospital, he was met with the rest of the Konoha 11 and their sensei, except with his own team members and sensei. They greeted him and asked if he was well. Naruto, when you were first brought in there was a hole through your jumper where your heart was. What happened? Kurone asked. Everyone there had also wondered the same thing. Well, yeah, see, it was Sasuke who put a Chidori right through it. It was healed though, he said as he scattered the back of his head. Embarrassed. What? That jerk. I can't believe that I actually liked him. Ew. I feel so gross. All of a sudden, exclaimed as she jumped up and down, much to the amusement of the others. But how the hell did it heal? That's impossible. Kiba yelled. I have to agree with the mutt here. You don't just heal like that. Neji said, and Naruto just looked down and shuffled his feet, not knowing what to say. There's something that you're not telling us, isn't there? Shikamaru asked. It's not like that. I don't want to tell you. It's that you might hate me like my own team wants you to. We won't hate you, Naruto. But why would your team not like you? Asked Choji. Taking a deep breath, he said, 12 years ago, around almost 13, when the Q... Naruto, that's forbidden, you... If it's so forbidden, then why does everyone know? If it's so forbidden, then I would have had a normal childhood. If it's so, he was cut off as he held his wound and collapsed on the ground. Naruto! They all yelled just then Tsunade and Jiraiya came into the hospital and saw the blonde collapsing on the ground. They ran over and asked what happened as Naruto placed him back in his room and began fixing him. Outside, they all just pondered on what happened. Jiraiya-san, could you please tell us what really happened 12 years ago when the QB attacked? That's what he was going to say, and he suddenly collapsed. Glares at Asuma. Shikamaru said, well, if he was going to tell you, then he might trust you enough. So Jiraiya told them everything about how they attacked and the fort sealed it in the Naruto and all. When he was finished, some of the girls were crying and the boys felt so guilty. They all regretted what they had done towards the blonde over the years. But they all had done one thing in mind, and that they were going to change. But why would they vote put into Naruto of all people? Didn't they have A connection? Asked Chino. This had the three Jonins and listening as well. This is also a secret that you can't tell. The fourth Hokage is Naruto's father, actually. His full name is Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki. No one knows this though, and I don't think he does either. Jiraiya said, Whoa, he's the son of the fourth? That's awesome! Kiba exclaimed. Yes, it is. The flames of youth shine brightly in Naruto, Lee said. I can't believe that they see him as a demon. I mean, can't they tell the difference between a kunai and the scroll used to seal in it? Tenten said, I feel really bad for the little one. Where is Kakashi anyway? Asuma said as he looked around. Don't bother. It's troublesome, but he's been here for a week and didn't even bother going to Naruto. He and Sakura just went to Sasuke's room every day, if I may add. That's unacceptable. He's playing favorites, Kornai exclaimed. That is most unusual indeed. I am disappointed in my rival. Man, we were all horrible to him, huh? I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna change. I'll be the greatest friend he ever had. Ino exclaimed. The other smiled, saying, There's me too. Just then Tsunade came out. Naruto's going to be alright. Hinata asked, finally coming out of her shock. Well, he's stable. He'll be alright. He just needs some rest. Looking around, she asked, Where is Kakashi and his other teammates? Sasuke was released earlier yesterday. None of them came here, Hime. I can't believe that Kakashi would do that to his own sensei's son. Jiraiya said, Anbu, bring me Kakashi Harake, Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno. She addressed the Anbu. I can't believe this, she yelled, frightening everyone. There was a dark, scary aura behind her. Naruto opened the door and looked outside, meeting the others who asked him immediately how he was. Tsunade dragged him back into his room, which was then flooded by everyone else. When he found out that they were told about the QB and didn't hate him for it, let a few tears down and thanked them with a genuine smile. Not like the fake ones before. When they arrived, they were greeted with a huge amount of killing intent from the Jonin senseis and the two Sanis. There is Tsunade, you called. Kakashi sat behind him and Sakura fanning over Sasuke, and Sasuke was brooding due to his defeat by the blonde. When she saw Naruto, she ran up and wanted to beat him but was blocked by everyone there. What do you think you're doing, Sakura? I'm going to beat him up. Do you know that he beat up Sasuke and almost killed him? She screeched. Shut up, little girl. Tsunade said, Kakashi, I called you here to ask why you or your team haven't come to meet Naruto during his stay. I'm an Uchiha, an elite. Why would I want to visit a peasant clanless loser like him? He said. Well, guess what, you stuck-up Uchiha? This clanless loser, as you said, kicked your ass and dragged it back to Konoha. Shikamaru shot back. He just got lucky, that's all. Enough! I asked you a question, Kakashi. Why didn't you come visit your student? Let me be honest with you, Hokage-sama. Naruto has almost killed Sasuke and I didn't teach him to kill a fellow shinobi. I am really disappointed in him. I don't think that he deserved to be visited. Oh, is that so? Has a dark aura. So, are you trying to tell me that the fact that Naruto had a fist-sized hole in his chest didn't matter? Is that what you're trying to tell me, Hatake? That is Tsunade. He only did that to defend himself and nothing more, but Naruto used it chakra and that was dangerous. So Sensei, are you trying to say that I have no talent whatsoever? That I was a waste of your time considering that you taught me absolutely nothing? Let me ask you this, and answer honestly. Did you even want me to on your team or teach me? Did you even see me as a good for nothing dead weight on your team? Naruto said as he looked at Kakashi and I, not giving away anything. Well, since you want me to answer honestly, then yes, I never wanted you on my team. You were the dead lost prankster, and I bet that your parents were talentless bastards and whores. Everyone's wide-eyed at what he said, but Naruto just smiled, confusing many. Kakashi, that was very unusual of you. How could you say that? How much low have you fallen? Guy said, and Kurenai just walked up to him and slapped him across the face. What the hell did you just say, you bastard? How could you say this to someone who have lost their parents? Have you lost your mind? I can't believe you, Kakashi. That's the most disgusting thing you could have ever said, Asuma said. Well, it's true. Naruto Baka just almost killed Sasuke-kun. He should have just died, that little demon. He's just a monster that no one cares about. Sakura was cut off with a punch in the stomach. Everyone looked at who it was and noticed three dark figures emitting a dark and scary killing intent. The one who punched her was none other than Hinata, and behind her was the two sons. Listen here, you pink-haired slut. If you ever call Naruto a demon or a monster one more time, then I'll beat you so bad to the point that no one will recognize you. she said in a dark and sadistic tone. From that day on, no one wanted to get her that angry again. I can't believe that you dare say such things towards my apprentice. Why I out Jiraiya started as he struggled to grab and beat down Kakashi, who was visibly shaken. You people don't know anything. He's an orphan that no one likes and should have died. Should have been grateful that he would be killed by an Uchiha. An orphan, started. Then what exactly are you? They all just looked at him, wondering the same thing, while Sasuke and Sakura shocked at what Ino said, thinking that she was still a fangirl. You talk about how great your clan is. Where, where is your clan now? Didn't see them when your brother killed them. Huh? Ino, how could you? She's right, shut up, Sakura. They all turned to Neji. If the Uchiha clan was so great, then why were they completely killed off, excluding you, and by a person your own age? I know, right? You're pathetic. If they were all this bad, then thank God they're all gone, Kiba said. It would be troublesome, dealing with such a pain every day. As they continued to belittle the Uchihas, Kakashi had enough since Obito was a part of it. That's enough! How could you say such things? Don't you know that if it would affect others? He exclaimed. They were stopped by an insanely evil laugh. Turning around, they see Naruto hold his sides and laughing hard. I see, so my father was a bastard, and my mother was a whore, huh? Is that what you said? Well, let me begin by telling you that I apologize for being such a burden towards you, and that you won't have to worry about any longer. I won't be a part of your team anymore. Sorry for being such an inconvenience. But let me tell you this, Hatake, as told by everyone before, I will always have the last laugh. Turns to Sasuke, and you, I can't believe that you're related to the Weasel. Such a shame, really. Now leave, you people won't want to stay here, right? With that, they left. Turning to everyone else, he said, You all heard what he said about my parents, right? They nodded. Good, because I'm going to make him regret it so bad. What, you know who your parents are? Jiraiya said. He nodded yes. Wait, they know who my parents are? He asked, looking at his friends. They nodded. An Anbu comes and tells the Hokage that the council called a meeting and that Naruto was needed. Council room. As everyone sat down in the room, there was the civilian council and the shinobi council. Sasuke and Kakashi were also there. Just then Tsunade with the 10 Konoha shinobis, Genins, now walked in with the Jonin senseis. I didn't call this meeting. What is it about? Tsunade yelled. It's about the mission to retrieve Uchiha Sasuke. From what we understand, the demon brat almost killed him. Civilians had suddenly treated and wanted him dead. Were being said. Silence. Now, start whatever it is that you are saying. We have decided to cast a vote to see that the execution of the demon, Danzo said coolly. What? Was the form of the group said. Even the Shinobi Council was shocked. You can't execute him. We completed the mission. Shikamaru started. You are out of the line, boy, Hamura said. No, you people are the ones out of the line. You can't punish someone for completing a mission, Kiba yelled. The whole group started shouting at the council, which brought pride to the clan head's presence. Enough! You will seize this or else be thrown out. If there is anyone to blame, then it's me, Shikamaru said as he stepped up. I was the team leader, meaning it was my responsibility for whatever happened. No. They look and see Naruto standing there with eyes closed. He opened them and continued, just cast a vote and we'll see. But Naruto, Lee starts, no. We don't even know if it would be effective, so there's still a chance, right? They nodded, and the vote is casted. Unfortunately, luck wasn't on their side, as his execution was in place. Sasuke just smirked, happy that the blonde annoyance will finally be over with and dealt with. Who's going to be my executioner? Naruto said calmly. I am dope, finally you'll be gone. He grinned while others just glared at him. Turning to the Anbu, he said, Here, cuff me. I assume I'm going to the prison. They all just stared at him. You're taking this quite well, Demon Brat. Because you're filthy amateurs, I always have to say this. Well, I'll always have the last laugh. Besides, my sister will take it so lightly when she hears her brother is going to die. He said as he walked off laughing. End of the flashback. Sasuke walked up to Naruto and looked at him with a shrugged look. Do you have any last words, Trope? Yeah. That you're a complete idiot for trusting the council and couldn't even tell the pain that your brother had in his heart. I can't believe that you took their side after all they did to you. Sasuke just looked at him, the questioning of, what are you talking about? The elders involved wide-eyed and just told him to hurry up the execution. Oh, you mean little Sasuke doesn't know the truth behind the massacre? How sad. The truth? Yes, the truth, anyways. Get on with the execution. Aren't you supposed to kill me? First of all, what really happened? Tell me. How do you even know this? Sasuke, he's just messing with you. Execute him. Really now? Then do you know who the Anbu Court was named after Weasel? Sad you don't know your own brother's mask. Just tell me already. We will tell you about it, Sasuke. Just kill him! Getting the Chidori ready as the crowd waited in anticipation, he got his hand and drove it right through his heart. Or so he thought. Right at the last minute, a sword stopped his Chidori. As Naruto was saved. Took you long enough, Nei-chan. Everyone looked at where the sword came from and then paled. A girl wearing a black coat that was going all the way down, button at her waist. Black tight pants with boots that were over it up to her knees. She wore a black mask and a hood covering her forehead. Only her eyes were seen. Eyes filled with hate and anger. This girl was feared all over the elemental nations to the point that it said in the bingo book that if you would encounter her, then it is better to kill yourself in order to ease your death. And her father was no better, if so worse. There in all her glory stood Miley Al-Ghul, heiress to the world's ruthless organization, and yet he called her Nei-chan. Sorry, had to take care of business. Sure. You just wanted to make a dramatic entry, didn't you? He said as he smiled at his older sister. Although there was a 5-year gap between them, they were the best of friends and related by everything but blood. Alright, Naru, get rid of the cuffs. It's time to get serious. Turns to Sasuke. Oh, hello there. You're Visa's little brother, aren't you? Why are you still in the village? Sasuke just looked at her as if she was crazy. What do you mean? Forget about that. Move aside, I need to kill the dope and get my eyes. So you want to kill him? For power, he nods. So the only reason that there is an execution is because you want power. She started to release some of her power and it was intense. The ground started to shake as cracks started to form. It threw him off his feet to the ground. This power, I must have it. Classic Uchiha bitch. The Uchiha thought. Nei-chan, stop. Forget they're not worth it. Remember, we came here for a reason. Naruto said to calm her down, which luckily worked. She turned to the crowd, who were scared of the girl. Listen here, you stupid, idiotic people. I have a message from the 4th Hokage himself. I was told to release it when Naruto turned 18, but in case something happened, I'm allowed to release the message beforehand. What you people did was the most pathetic thing any human being could have done in the history of humans. I bet you right now that Minato and his wife were rolling in their graves in hatred for what you did to their son. Gasps were heard everywhere as so many people started to wide-eyed at the revelations. There's no way that the demon is the Yondaim's son, a pathetic villager yelled. Oh, please, I don't know if you're blind, but if a person from Eva was to take a look at him, they would have recognized it in a heartbeat. They were mummers as they finally realized the truth. I don't have time for this. Here's the message. Then she pulled out a box and undid the seal. Soon enough, everyone was listening to the message as they saw a projection image of what happened 13 years ago. Hello, villagers of Konoha. I believe if you've seen this message, then my surrogate daughter, Miley, had delivered it to you. Before anything, I want to introduce to you my pride and joy, Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki. A newborn child, held by a 5-year-old girl, was shown. What gave it away immediately was the whisker marks on the child's face. Come on, Naru, say hi to the village, the little girl said. The boy giggled and then was taken away by his father. This is my son Naruto, a son that I have to place a heavy burden on his order for every one of you to survive. Kyuubi is shown battle Shinobi in the background, and in order for you to survive, I must seal the Kyuubi inside my own child. I cannot tell another parent to give up their children for the sealing, if it means that I cannot do it with my own. He was interrupted by the little girl. No, you can't do that. Don't you know that the villagers would hate him? It happens every time, everywhere, even though they aren't the demons inside. Why don't you put it in me? I don't mind going through a hard life if it means that my brother gets a normal childhood, the girl said as she sobbed in tears. Minato hugged her and wiped her tears away. The village of Konoha won't do that. They're smart and strong and can tell the difference between an innocent boy and a demon. I can't put in you since you are already unlocked your chakra, but that I can say thank you for your sacrifice. It means so much to me for you to go through such lengths. I was seeing you as a daughter, so don't cry. Besides, there's Kakashi who would look out for him. For me, he's my student. Okay, But if anyone hurts my brother, I'm going to kill him. Mali, you can't kill people from Konoha. It's the home I love, so promise me that you won't kill any Konoha shinobi, okay? Okay, Tosan, I won't kill them. But they better not harm him, she said, pouting. Turns back to screen. I must leave now to see the cube inside my son. Naruto, if you're listening, then please forgive me. I'm sorry that you have such a burden, but you live in a great village where they will see you as a hero and not as a demon, because if it wasn't for you, then the whole village would have been extinct. The villagers were all on the floor weeping. They have failed their hero, their Hokage, by tormenting and torturing his son, clapping. Congratulations, pathetic villagers! I was right about you all along. Me, a 5-year-old girl. Huh, can't believe it. I only wish I could have told him. I told you so. Turns to Kakashi. And you're the most disgusting person here, you know that? Everyone was now listening. Kakashi just looked at her after he kept staring at Naruto the entire time, ghostly pale. He was his sensei's son. Do you people know what this man said? He called the fourth a bastard and his wife a whore. Haha, I wish Kushina was here. Man, she would have been an one-man army on you, Miley said as she wiped away her tears of laughter. No, I didn't say that. Kakashi began to defend himself. Don't you try to defend yourself, Hatake. You called my father a bastard and my mother a whore. So since they're the fourth and princess of the worthful country, you technically did turn to the Konoha Den. Didn't he call his sensei and wife that? They nodded. You might have been trying to respect Obito by trying Sasuke Kakashi, but let's not forget that he was at that last. Just like Naruto here, although it was all a mask. Oh, he did the fourth! Kiba exclaimed. I guess he's not a clanless loser, right, Sasuke? Since he's the heir to the two clans, the Namikaze and Uzumaki. Neji said smugglingly. The elders of the council were pale. They tried to execute the son of the fourth. The Shinobi Council had a feeling that was the case, but they still felt guilty for not providing shelter and care for him. Well then, let your embarrassment be known all throughout the world. Konoha, this was broadcasted everywhere, in front of daimyos of every nation. Congratulations on trying to kill the fourth Hokage's son. As they were about to leave, they were stopped by Sasuke. Wait, please tell me the truth about my clan. Finally having enough, Naruto threw a kunai at him, who dodged last minute, but unfortunately he used a jutsu that many haven't seen in a while, the Harishin jutsu, the one that made his father famous. Now listen, you annoying little brat. If you want information, then you make an effort in doing so. Don't think we're buddy-buddy all of a sudden, got it? Not after what you did, he said using Kurama's voice, which alerted the others. He had managed to befriend the fox at a young age, who also helped him in training. Sasuke, trembling with fear, just nodded, and then he was thrown on the ground. Sakura started to charge up ahead with the kunai screaming about hurting her Sasuke until she was caught by her throat and held in midair. And you're the most annoying creature I have ever seen. Seriously, why did I choose you for a cover? Especially since there are only one girl I like. Then he threw her right next to Sasuke. Looking at Sasuke, he said, if you want me to tell you the truth about your clan, then first find out what Uchiha clan feared the most. And a little bit of advice. Crouches down and whispers, don't trust the council, especially Danzo. He stood up and eyed the crowd that were begging for forgiveness. He saw Iruka and the Ramen family and Harishin over there. They were startled, but he gave them a hug and said his goodbyes. Then he teleported to the Konoha Den and said goodbye to them, but he went to Hinata, grabbed her and teleported next to Miley. He then went to Tsunade and Jiraiya and gave them each a hug while he bowed in respect towards the clan heads. While showing the finger, to the civilian council, he went back to the ladies and said before he went away for good, remember Konoha, I will always have the last laugh, and then left in a yellow flash. Next couple of years weren't so good towards Konoha. After that had happened, the guests and travelers that came for the festival a week earlier had spread the news like wildfire. Immediately, the Wave Country and Spring Country pulled out their alliances, since they saw Konoha a place where completing a mission meant execution. They weren't the only ones, as every village and country saw the village as such. Gaara, once finding out what the Hidden Leaf did this to his friend, his first friend, charged up there with the intent of killing everyone there with a sand tsunami, but was luckily stopped. But he did end the peace treaty with the warning that any leaf shinobi found at their borders would be killed, no question asked. Banished his daughter from the clan after Naruto took her. But when confronted by Neji, he told her the truth, saying whatever had happened during the day, he knew it was going to happen. The reason because Naruto told him about the elders wanting to place the bird seal on Hinata and asked if he would take her away, in which he agreed after hearing his plan. The rest of Konoha, now aged, went on training every day in order to see their blonde friend again. They completely isolated Sakura and Sasuke, going as far as Ino kicking her out of her flower shop. Sakura was quite happy that the blonde idiot was gone, but after a stern talking from Tsunade and realizing her fault, she wanted to bring him back as well. Sasuke, not caring before, felt somewhat bad after he came across Naruto's hospital records when he was looking for the truth. He was shocked at what he saw and finally understood that although the blonde didn't understand what it meant to have a family, Sasuke himself didn't understand on how it felt to be alone and abused every day. He made a vow to bring him back, the only person who ever cared for him as Sasuke and not as an Uchiha. The situation with Kakashi was no better. Every shinobi would sneer at him, make rude comments, or just plain out ignore him. They all hated him for what he did and said to the blonde because no matter what happened, no orphan should be told that their parents were bastards. He felt terrible himself. He tried in one occasion to kill himself but was found before it could happen by Tsunade, who gave a good beating down on later him. Speaking of Tsunade, she was mostly drunk, crying about not being able to save her godson, but was snapped out of it when Shizune told her that Naruto wouldn't want to see her like this. Jiraiya hardly came to the village. Iruka would get himself drunk and never came out of his room for 2 months, but then did after secretly getting a letter from Naruto telling him he was alright. Ichirakus were always full due to the Yondam sons often coming here, but they were both still sad that the blonde was not there anymore. Konohamaru and his friend began pranking everyone in the village, all the while training to get their boss back. The pranks were in order to get his legacy going. Everyone wanted him back, but haven't heard from him in the 7 years. 7 years later. It has been 7 years since Naruto, Hinata, and his older sister left the village, and Konoha was already on the path of destruction, and Iwa and Sound, along with other minor villages, had called for a war against them. Taking advantage of their state, Tsunade sent every available shinobi after the two, but they came with nothing. She was forced to stop when she got an unexpected visit during council meeting. Flashback. A couple of days after they left, the council room was filled by both civilian side and shinobi side. The announcement and revelation hit them hard. By the civilian side at least, the shinobi side had an idea but never gave the boy any support, so they were just as bad. Tsunade then came and the meeting began. Hokage-sama, have any of the shinobi found the young Namikaze-san? A civilian asked. Oh, how the attitude of them has changed. Tsunade thought, yes, we must have found him as soon as possible. The fourth son is in danger. Silence. We are doing everything we can to find him, but considering who he went with, then I doubt that he would be found. Of course you won't find him, a voice said. They looked to see who it was, and when they did, they stopped breathing. Miley will go, they thought. You must bring back Namikaze-sama immediately. He must be safe inside the village. A stupid civilian council said, and like a disease, his stupidity reached the other council members, and civilian side, while the shinobi council just prayed the girl won't bring the league into the village. Are you demanding things from me? She said in a dangerous tone and started raising her killing intent. Everyone remained silent then. Every single one of you here are hypocrites. Safe in the village? Wasn't it his execution a couple of days ago, Namikaze-sama? Don't make me laugh. Minato was a complete fool when he put his trust in this village. I was right 13 years ago, and I'm right now. We want to apologize for the suffering that he went through. My brother might have a kind heart. Even after everything he went through, he still doesn't want this place destroyed. He doesn't believe in vengeance, but he isn't coming back either. Please, we didn't know that he was the fourth son. Bullshit, that doesn't give you the reason to do what you did. He gave out his soul, and yet you couldn't even respect his last wish. How pathetic. I guess even for the most stupid, mourning for maximum for 2 years is acceptable. But for 13 years, you people abused him. Nothing you do or say will erase that. I only came to tell you this. Naruto Uzumaki and Hinata Yuga are both under league protection. Anyone that hurts them or is trying to look for them gets killed regardless of their situation. No question asked. Good day and hope Konoha rots in hell, she said and then disappeared, troublesome. All said Shikaku. End of the flashback. Since then, no one looked for the two. The Konoha now ate, kept training to get stronger, and would go to Ichiraku once a week to honor their blonde friend. Even after all these years, they completely ignored Sakura and Sasuke. Sakura tried, and even though they still hated her, they have to deal with her on missions. So to try to act civil as well as Sasuke, although he shows that he doesn't care, he felt hurt that they ignored him. He also felt guilty for what he was about to do to Naruto. The guilt just kept eating at him, and even though the warning given, he still secretly looked for him. He also kept researching on the truth behind his clan's demise and the clan that the Uchihas feared, although he never believed it at first. But after doing a bit of research, he found out there was indeed a clan that they feared, but he didn't know why or their name. The very thought made him shudder. He also stopped his vengeance plan on wanting to kill Itachi until he found out the truth. Tsunade-sama. How are you? Jiraiya said in a stern voice as he entered through the window of the Hokage office. Don't you have any manners? You... No, there's a door. Use the door next time. She yelled at him. Why are you here anyways? Did you know that the Uzu was rebuilt? He asked seriously. She nearly spit out the stick. What? Yeah, I had the same reaction too when I found out. No doubt that the Uzumakis were completely annihilated, but the weird part is that it's been running for the past 5 years. How is that possible? If it were being rebuilt, or at least people who were doing it would have been out there in the exposure. But for 5 years and right under our noses, I can't believe this. Impossible, unless you knew and were hiding it. She questioned, raising her eyebrow. No, I swear, I just heard about it myself. It's strange, but what I can believe it to be is some kind of seal that forbids some people from knowing it. Yeah, that its existence. Yeah, that might be it. Shreya, are you sure about this? Believe me, Hime, I am not lying. But why would they do that? Even so, if there was a seal, how would you know? Don't know really. It might have been brought down for others to know about it. Not really sure myself. After a long silence, she asked, do you think it's him? The boy was smart. Hell, he almost fooled us for 13 years. He knew his father's technique that I'm wondering how old was he when he mastered it. Honestly, it could be. I don't know. Anbu, bring me Konoha 10, including Asuma, Kurenai, Guy, and Kakashi. The Anbu bowed and then left. Are you sending them there? Yes, I want them to scout out the area and maybe get a peace treaty. You do know that there isn't a chance that you'll get one if he is the Kage there. I know that. But he left Konoha. We might get a chance. Don't count on it. Now if you excuse me, I need to do some research, he said, giggling pervertedly, and then left. Right after him, the Konoha 10 and their senses arrived. Although the remaining of Team 7 was being isolated by the rest. You wish to see us? Okage-sama, Neji began. Yes, I want all of you, although I know it isn't smart to go to Uzu and scout out the place. With all due respect, Okage-sama, but wasn't Uzu destroyed? Kurenai asked. Yes, it was. But just about now, Jiraiya came to me with information saying that it was up and running for almost past 5 years. They gasped. How in the world was that possible? But if it was, then wouldn't we have known? Asuma said. We're not sure either, but just go check that place out. Wasn't Uzu the home of the Uzumakis? Sakura asked. They all glared at her. Yes, it was, but they were destroyed. Do you think that it's him? That he rebuilt it? Kiba questioned. The rest waited in anticipation. I don't know. Nothing. Nothing is known really about this new country. That's why I'm sending you guys. If it's looking for him, then why the hell are they coming? Ino asked as she pointed at Team 7. Enough of this. They're going because I said so. Now get going. As they were leaving, Shikamaru said, it's troublesome, but I believe he's there. At least because Uzu is Uzumaki's home, and he will be there, along with his clan. Yes, it is indeed quite logic to find him there, Shino remarked. It would be nice to see him again, Junji said, munching in his chips. I hope our youthful chance isn't disturbed because of them. Then they started their journey to Uzu. Link break. Elsewhere in a dark room where people are seated around a table. My lord, they have been spotted near the borders towards this country. Your orders? Let them come in. But I want them being tailed at all times. Konoha might be at the brink of destruction, but they must not be underestimated. Understood? And then he left. Lord Uzukage, what are you planning to do? A red-haired man said. We will put out a show for them. First give them some hope and then take it away from underneath. They become quite prideful and it's something I'd like to crush. They'll regret betraying Uzu. That is something I promise, he said as he and a woman standing beside him smirked. Konoha, and this coming fast for you. It has been a couple of days until the Konoha team had finally reached Uzu. Along the way, they got into arguments with the remaining members of Team 7. Although none of them had really done anything for Naruto, they decided to change after the retrieval incident, but couldn't after he left. When they reached the Purple Country gates, they were stopped. Halt, state your business, one of the guards said. We come from Konoha, and we would like to request an audience with the Uzukage, Asuma said. I wasn't told anything of this sort. We came here unofficially. Please let us talk to the Uzukage. It's quite urgent, Kurenai pleaded. Just then another guard came and said, Show us your documentations, then you will be able to come in, he said. They did what he said and then followed him inside after checking of the documentation. Before they reached the majority population, he said, If I were you, I would take those headbands off. Konoha isn't liked here one bit. Why is that? If they have a problem with where we come from, then they should. Sakura ranted, was stopped by Ino punching her in the face. Would you shut the fuck up? We came to ask for help, not to shout our mouths off. I'm not going to have anyone suffer because of your idiocy anymore. She yelled, then turned to their escort. I'm sorry for what she was going to say. You have our deepest apologies. As she bowed in respect, making her teammates and friends feel proud. It's alright. It's good to see that at least some of you are decent and in the right mind. Would you like a tour? We have quite a while before we reach the hotel. Questions. That would be really kind, Tenten exclaimed. Once they reached the more populated places, they realized how beautiful Uzu was built. The architecture of each building was unique, and the population was quite friendly. As you can see, our people welcome anyone and treat one another like family. No one is above another, as the Uzukage himself would come here with his wife and mingle with the citizens. They are both loved in our country and welcomed. Anyone who doesn't have a home or doesn't feel welcome at their home, it's also a place for those missing limbs who wants a place to call home, he said proudly. Wow, this place is quite youthful, Lee said as he punched his fist in the air. Yes, it is indeed. A man then came whispering something in the escort's ear and then vanished. Well, I have good news for you, Lot. The Uzukage has made time for you to see him tomorrow. I was also told to show you all around our country. Let's get going now. The first place they arrived at was the Ninja Academy. This is where our youngest shinobis are taught, or samurais come to as well. Why are there samurais? Neji asked. You see, the Uzukage wants to honor Uzu before its destruction, and the Uzumakis were well known to be samurai alongside their Fuinjutsu skills. Now if I may continue, there are different classes that can be taken. There are some classes that deal with specifically for ninjas, some only for samurai, and others that are of neither of them or both. Can you please explain that more in detail? Shikamaru asked. Well, there are more people who didn't want to be on the battlefield, so there have been classes which they learn what a regular school does. They later became businessmen or women and lived their lives like ordinary citizens. But they have to have some self-defense learned in order to defend themselves if necessary. Of course, the ninja and the samurai must attend these classes as well. Then there are those who want to help in the medical field. So there are classes for them, which is sometimes supervised by Lady herself, Lord Uzukage's wife. They looked around into each of the classroom and was fascinated at what was being taught. The academy back in their village was nowhere near this level, and the school itself had been built for a vast majority of people to enter. Then they went outside to where the training grounds were. Throughout the country, there are different types of training grounds. Some are only for ninjutsu, other taijutsu, and other are for kenjutsu. But one of the most favorites of those who are hard to work at, and my personal favorite, is Training Ground 1. These training grounds were created by the Uzukage himself and is quite special. You see, it's also named the Surprising Death Ground because of the various trap seals that covered the area. The seals are the test and help train the person in various unknown ways so that they are able to cope in any situation. The trickery part is that the traps automatically change about every hour a day. The Konohanin were impressed. Such a thing was something that had never thought of before. Next, they went to the hospital. They were, especially Sakura, impressed about the high medical technology that was used in the hospital, along with the different varieties of methods that were used to help heal patients. For some herbs to advanced technologies for surgeries to make sure success to 100% as well. Wow, I never seen a medical field this advanced before, Sakura exclaimed. We have an alliance with the Spring Country, which specializes in the advancement in technology. If remember correctly, Konoha was one of the first alliances. Do you not have these? He questioned. They just looked down until they broke our alliance after hearing a certain incident. Shino spoke up. Oh yes, I believe I heard that. Sorry for bringing up something painful. Moving along, he showed them their entertainment section where the casinos and the movie theaters were. They were shown the best restaurants and almost went everywhere except the Uzukage's place. I noticed that there aren't any children on the streets. I don't mean to be rude, but surely you do have poor people here, don't you? Kornei asked. Ah, yes, we in fact do. But you see, the Uzukage believes that everyone has to have a roof over his head. He says that they came to this country to seek a new home and a place to stay safe. The orphan children live in a dorm in the academy, while poor families are given a home paid for by the Uzukage himself. They aren't run down. They're actually. Oh, here are one of them now. He exclaimed. They looked at where he was pointing at, a building that would normally be for middle class people. It looked simply yet so elegant. Wow, the Uzukage really is a kind person, Tenten said. It is quite indeed youthful what the Uzukage has done, Lee exclaimed. Yes, being under the command of the Uzukage is something that everyone here takes great pride in. Hearing you say that, well, thank you. Oh, here we are. This is your hotel. If there are any questions, then please feel free to ask me. I will meet you here and again at exactly 10 a.m. to see the Uzukage. We never really got your name. Do you mind telling us? Neji asked. Oh, how rude of me. You can call me Shinji. He bowed and was about to leave when he was stopped. Wait, Sasuke finally spoke up after staying quiet the whole time. Is there a person named Naruto Uzumaki here? There he said it. The taboo name in Konoha, especially the Konoha 8. They just glared at him. Yes, I do. They all looked at him with hope. But that's something that you should take up with the Uzukage tomorrow. He has much more detail about him. Don't forget what I told you, that Konoha isn't welcome here, so make sure that no one finds out. Then he left. They must have figured out what we did to him. Kiba said, this is his home country. I bet they did. If he is here, then Hinata-sama must be here as well. Neji said he was pretty glad that his cousin got away from. They put the cage bird on her. And he was grateful to Naruto for taking away from the village. But you must admit that this place is amazing. The restaurant that we had dinner is delicious, Choji exclaimed. I have to agree. I never had such a great meal before. And at such low prices, Kornei said. Well, I got our hotel rooms. Everyone go in and get some rest. We could all agree how great and better than Konoha this place is. Asuma said jokingly. The entire time Kakashi never said a word and looked like the rest of his students. He was keeping an eye out to see if they might have seen the person they had wronged the most. The next day they met Shinji outside the hotel. Once they were all there, they made their way to the palace. Isn't the Uzukage supposed to be in something more simpler? I mean, it makes it looks like as if he's a king or something, Sakura asked shyly, knowing they would all glare at her. Yes, but the people of this country wanted to make sure he and his wives feel special because of everything they had done for us. Honestly, we see them both as our king and queen of the Whirlpool country, and soon of us actually refer to him as that way, but he waves it off, saying that we should call him Uzukage or just boss, something three little children who were his familiars used to call him. When they finally reached the palace, they were amazed at the sight. It was the most beautiful thing that they had ever seen to date. They were led down a path that had water on the floor and were going to use chakra to walk on it. When they were stopped, you don't have to apply chakra. There is a glass floor that is over the water that makes it look like it's just water. Shinji explained. Soon enough they found out that there was under a glass floor. I guess that put it off as one of the world's many wonders, huh? They finally reached the main room and were met with a table and people surrounding it. There were two empty seats at the front of the table. They assumed belonged to the Uzukage and his wife. They all stood in a line, side by side, as they waited for the Uzukage to arrive. Just then, the large door opened and in came the Uzukage. He was wearing a grey Kage hat, along with matching white and grey robes. His hat covered his face, and he sat down. Sorry for being late. I had to take care of some last minute errands. My wife will be joining us soon, Uzukage said. It's alright, boss. I brought the people from Konoha with me. They'll tell you why they came here. Shinji said, Thank you, Shinji. You must leave now. He bowed in respect and then left. You people of Konoha dare show your face here after what you done to us last time, a red-haired man said. Arashi, that's enough. They will pay, but not now. Uzukage said, Of course, sorry about my outburst. Now, I would like to know why Konohanin are here uninvited, no less. You were supposed to send a letter first. Common courtesy, I believe. Uzukage said. The ninja gulped in fear, and it was Asuma who finally spoke up. We come from our Hokage, Lord Uzukage, for an alliance to be formed between our villages and yours. What exactly would we benefit from this alliance? For what I understand, Konohana's downfall began when they decided to execute a shinobi for completing his mission. Uzukage said. That's not true, Sakura yelled out. He hurt Sasuke-kun and almost killed him. She was stopped when she felt some deadly killing intent. Are you saying that I am a liar? Uzukage said in a calm but threatening tone. She quickly shut up and looked down. I met the young boy you are talking about. This piqued their interest. I know everything that he went through when he stayed in Konoha, and I know it wasn't pretty. Kakashi Harake, wasn't it? The Arashi spoke up. I can't believe that my nephew was put through such horrible things. I just wish my sister was alive to witness her one-man army in destroying Konoha, he said as the rest of the council there laughed. You're Arashi Uzumaki, brother to Kushina Uzumaki, brother-in-law to Minato Namikaze and uncle to their child, Naruto Uzumaki. Then yes, I am him. And Konoha has a lot of explaining to do for betraying both the Whirlpool country before and one of our own. He said darkly, but I thought that the Uzumaki clan was wiped out. Too bad, we're still alive. We were likely. Kushina told us about your betrayal beforehand. If you're wondering if the Yondam knew, then he didn't know. Honestly, boss, I don't see why we should get into an alliance with them. What exactly would we gain besides joining and aiding them in war? A councilman said. Seeing as the council was agreeing and things were not looking well for Konoha, Kakashi decided to speak up. I honestly don't know what Konoha was doing to the Whirlpool country before, but an alliance would greatly benefit the both countries. The Uzukage looks quite young, and we have elders that could help him in political views. You already know that we are at war, but you have to see that we're quite desperate. The Uzukage thought carefully and said, Do you know why Konoha is in this situation in the beginning? They looked confused, and when he said Naruto Uzumaki, they looked at him wide-eyed. You want to blame everything on him, don't you? First the QB attack. He holds the fox at bay and is thus treated like a demon. Honestly, do you know how foolish Konoha sounded when I heard all of this information? It's like saying a newborn child only an hour less old was able to almost completely demolish a powerful village. How pathetic. The councilmen just laughed at the statement, while the Konoha shinobi were red with embarrassment and anger. If I remember correctly, Uzukage-sama, Hatake told the boy that my brother-in-law was a bastard and my sister was a whore. Now I might have not liked the man, but I didn't quite like my sister being described like that. Arashi said coldly, I won't help Konoha in its war. You came here uninvited. I don't quite see what's preventing me from sending you back to your village in bones and boxes. Now leave, I don't want to see your... Get out of my sight, his voice boomed. Wait, please, you don't understand. Konoha will lose if you don't help us, Ino exclaimed. Not my problem. Konoha is the least of my problems. All of you, except Kurona Yuhi and Shikamaru Nara. They all scurried out of the place, being escorted by the guard. They had lost all hope of the Uzukage helping and now their village was doomed. But one thing was on their mind. What did Konoha do to Uzukage and Uzushio before? Back inside the place, the Uzukage sent out his council as well, and now it was only him and the two Konoha. Not to be sounding rude, Lord Uzukage, but why were we told to stay behind? Kurone said. She and Shikamaru had no idea what was going to happen. Wait a second, please. Turns to the door. Hime, you can come out now, he said. The beautiful woman of about 20 years old came out, her lavender hair and pupilless eyes gave it away immediately. Hinata! Kurna exclaimed as she was worried sick of what might have happened to her student, and now here she was, a confident, beautiful woman. It's really nice to see you, Sensei. It's been a while, she said as she hugged the woman. Troublesome. Then you must be. Yep. I see you, laziness. He's still there. You lazy ass. The Uzukage said as he removed his hat to reveal him to be none other than Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto? Kurenai said as she stopped hugging Hinata. The one and only. Seeing that you're confused. Yes, I'm the Uzukage, or the king of the Whirlpool country. Hinata is seen as the queen of the country. Let me start from the beginning. After my sister took us away from the village, we were brought to her home, where we were trained and then had the idea of reforming Uzushio after I found out that the Uzumakis were indeed alive. The Uzumakis are alive? But I thought they were wiped out in the Third War, Shikamaru asked. No, they weren't really. There's a dark secret, actually, from Konoha. You have to promise not to say anything until I do, okay? They nodded and he continued. Well, I guess you know that the Konoha and Uzushio had an alliance from the time of the Shodai Hokage. During the Third War, Konoha decided to sell the Uzukages out to the enemy Nin in order to keep their numbers and stop the war. The information shocked the two Konoha Nin that they had no idea that Konoha had done such a horrified thing. No wonder the Uzumaki during the meetings earlier was completely against it. Konoha said, yes, honestly, they wanted to go to war with Konoha after Naruto stabilized the country in secret, but he managed to change their thought around by telling them about how his own past was and how he still won't get his revenge. Hinata said, and it relieved the both. Yes, I guess that makes sense now. If Konoha treated their own like trash, then they more than certainly deserve to get revenge, Shikamaru said. But will you still not help? It's your home village. Konoha said, not to sound rude or anything, Sensei, but Konoha wasn't our home. We all know what they did to Naruto, and my family wanted me dead, they gasped. What do you mean, Hinata? First, there are things that were kept a secret for a bit too long. Naruto and I were together about a while before we left, and we were friends before that. The only reason we didn't publicize it was because he and I would have been hurt. Another thing is, Sensei, that my father wanted to brand me with the bird seal, and I overheard some of the elders plotting to kill me with it afterwards. I told Naruto, and knowing that the council would probably banish or execute him, we came up with a plan. The flash thing that happened 7 years ago with the daughter of Russell Gu, right? Shikamaru said, yup. We both knew Miley and she helped out. Remember that little girl in the projection of the fourth speech? Well, that was her. Hinata concluded. Thinking of everything they were told, they had to understand. Nodding, they didn't push forward. I can see why you wanted us. But what about the others? Why Team 7 is understandable, but the others were on your side, Naruto. Why not tell them? It's true that they helped, but honestly it was a bit too late. If it gives you any consent, if Konoha fails, I'll give asylum to the shinobi clans and everyone who didn't treat me badly before my heritage was revealed. That's all. Laughing, he concluded. I can see the tension between the Team 7 and the others. What's up? Everyone distanced themselves from them. It's troublesome, but they all regret what they did to you. Surprisingly, Sakura as well, but I did think Lady Tsunade beat her up in order to open her eyes. They all laughed as they imagined the scenario. I guess you should get going now, Naruto said. Yeah, but what do we tell the others? Kurenai said. Actually, I have a plan. 1 week later, in Konoha, the scouting team from Uzushio returned and reported their failed mission to Tsunade. She was, however, impressed at how well the country was managing and how it was running. She, like Sakura, was impressed at the hospital and medical maintenance. It was like a dream place she had always wanted to work in. Although we didn't get an alliance with Uzushio, we managed to see how it was running, or some of it. Did you manage to at least know who it was? She questioned. Kurna and Shikamaru didn't say a word and the others shook their heads. No, they just nodded. The council just called for a meeting and you're needed. Shizune said and she came in. Tsunade shooed the others away of her room, but Kurna and Shikamaru stayed. Is there anything I could do for you two? She said, taking a deep breath. Tsunade-sama, there is something private that we must discuss with you before you leave. Nodding, she sent her Anbu out and put up the silencing seal. Now tell me, what is this? It better be good. It's about Naruto. Shikamaru started as her eyes grew wide. Council room. The council room was filled, along with the scouts team that was sent to Uchiha. All they were waiting for was Tsunade, Kurenai, and Shikamaru. The scouting team realized that the two were acting strangely after their meeting with the Uzukage, but they told them that he just said he think about it, much to their relief. Just then, the three entered, with Tsunade having a smug look on her face, which she quickly repressed. Why is there a meeting here? She questioned. Hokage-sama, we heard that the Uchiha was rebuilt. Is that true? A councilman asked. Yes, it is indeed true. That is why I sent a scouting team to the country and tried to get an alliance. They should agree. We had an alliance before, a stupid councilman said. We had an alliance with the Uzumaki clan. They were the inhabitants of the Whirlpool country. Now that they're wiped out and the new inhabitants aren't Uzumaki, Choza spoke up. You see, that's where you're wrong. The Uzumaki clan is alive. And let's just say they are not happy at what you did to one of their own. Tsunade grinned at everyone, was stunned. He was Danzo. What do you mean, Hime? A voice said, emerging. It was that of Jiraiya. Jiraiya, as I said, they encountered Irashi Uzumaki, Kushina's brother. Let's just say that he wanted our Konoha team sent back in boxes. Arashi Uzumaki! Inoichi exclaimed. Everyone paled at the statement. Arashi Uzumaki was well known for his strength and power, which far exceeded the fourth and the third Hokage. Yup, he also found out about Naruto. He told him everything, from his treatment in Konoha to his execution that was narrowly escaped, she continued. Actually, Hokage-sama, he didn't escape, Shikamaru said, as everyone gained everyone's attention. What do you know? Are you blind? The boy went away with her. A councilman said. Are you insulting my son in front of me? Shikaku said as he rose from his seat on his 2 feet. They got the man to shut up and sit down. Troublesome. Anyways, apparently he could have left any time he wanted, but wanted to reveal his heritage and then leave. He always was unpredictable, and that shows it. Of course, using his father's jutsu was something else as well. Do you met Naruto there? Is he alright? Shura said. Well, that brings me to another topic. The Uzukage is going to come here and see if an alliance would work out, Tsunade said. When will he get here? Yashi asked. Right now, she said as he threw a kunai to the floor. The shinobi had instantly knew what was happening, but not the civilians. Before they could say anything, the room was engulfed in a yellow flash. Dying down, they were met with a red-headed man, a lavender-haired woman, and a man wearing a grey hat. Instantly recognized the woman. Hinata! The ones who knew her yelled except for Kurenai, Shikamaru, who knew. Hello, Konoha. I see the council is gathered to talk about the alliance. If there is one. Who are you? A councilwoman said. The Uzukage. He said calmly and he sat down. Hinata sitting in the chair beside him, and the red-haired man standing behind him. Hello, Lord Uzukage. It's a pleasure to meet you. Tsunade said, trying to take out her hand and trying not to cry. It's an honor to meet you as well, Lady Hokage. He said, taking it. Why can't we see your face? And why do you have the fourth jutsu? It belongs to Konoha. Pink-haired woman apart from the council screeched. I hope you could lower your voice. Honestly, even after 7 years, the council of the civilian side is such an annoyance, he said as he slowly took off his hat, fully revealing himself. Much to their shock, he began to speak. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, son of Yondam Hokage, Minato Namikaze, and the princess of former Whirlpool country, Kushina Uzumaki, great-grandson of the Shodai Hokage, Hashirama Senju, and great-grandnephew of the Nantime Hokage, Tobirama Senju, godson of legendary son Jiraiya, the Toad Sage, and Uzukage of the Whirlpool country. But then you all know me as the demon brat that lost of Konoha and to be executed by Sasuke Uchiha for completing a mission. Who would have turned traitor? He smirked as he looked at their faces. They all paled at what he'd said. You're related to the first and second, along with the fourth? Mira said, he is my grandson as well. Tsunade said, looking at Hinata and the red head, he continued, how rude of me. This is Hinata Uzumaki, seen as the queen of the Whirlpool country, second in strength next to me, my wife. Seeing Hiyashi's shocked face, oh Hiyashi-san, what's the matter? Sad you couldn't kill your weak daughter? Hinata said mockingly, which shocked everyone, especially Neji. You can't be that strong. Danzo said, throwing him a bingo book. Bingo book, page 23, Naruto said. They all turned to the page and paled a new shade of white. If it was possible, one on the page was fearsome new masked man under the name Bloody Kitsune, due to him mask resembling a fox, and was a double-strength nin. What shocked them Here was the every shinobi in that room had run into him and almost lost barely. Enough with that small talk. State what it is and what alliance that are you talking about will benefit for our Uzushio and yours. Konoha. Naruto stated, going into serious mode. We demand you to create an alliance with us. Idiotic councilman said, shut up. This isn't how an alliance is made. Sonata said, and as you can see, Konoha is on the brink of war. We wanted you to help us in the battle. After he left, word of your execution reached everywhere and our alliances were cut off. Let me ask my question again. What will Uzushio get from this alliance? Konoha was your home, brat. We shelter you, and this is how you repay us, another stupid councilman said. Just when Tsunade was going to shut him up, Naruto spoke. You're right. He started. As civilian smiled, knowing he would help Konoha, but the shinobi side weren't feel easily fooled. A place where I was supposed to call home, but instead I would get beaten, burned alive, tortured. Shops would refuse to sell me anything. The many target in fox hunts, as you put it. My academy created sabotage, kicked out of the orphanage at the 3 age, my apartment always trashed. I should help the very same people that wanted my death and were about celebrating for my execution for bringing back a traitor. They looked down in shame. I don't think anyone in their right mind would help such a disgusting place in the first place. Honestly, I'm always asked why I'm doing here and not destroying Konoha out there. For what they have done to me, they just pale and wonder. Now let me ask you this. Give me one non-delusional question as to why I should help Konoha. No one spoke up. I guess we have our answer, my love, he said as he turned to Hinata. Yes, I guess we do. I think we should get going now. Wait, I know we didn't do you well before, but can't you let it go and help us now? Sumi said, I remember begging for my attackers to stop hitting me when I was 3. But did they know? But did they? No. You want me to forget? Why didn't you people forget about the QB attack? This isn't quite fair, Tsumi-san. Especially since I don't do anything. But then again, you people are still thinking that the demon brat doesn't have rights, aren't you? He said, smirking. Kid, you should just let me destroy the damn place already. I was being controlled last time, but I'm willing to do it now. The red-haired man said, excuse me, but who are you? Sakura asked, turning and looking at the scouting team. He said, oh, will you look at that? If it isn't the pink-haired bitch and her friends. I might not have known you all well, but I still appreciate what you did. And as for you, still trying to get together with the Uchiha, I see. He said mockingly, trying to stop her husband. Hinata said, this is Kurama, the advisor of the Uzukage, but you all may know him well under his title, the Kyuubi no Kitsune, she said. Suddenly, Anbu started to get ready to attack. What is that monster doing here, Naruto? Why did you just unseal it? Jiraiya exclaimed. Suddenly, the room temperature dropped and the killing intent made the standing shinobi fall on the floor. Are you trying to call my friend the monster? Naruto said darkly. They quickly shook their head. I'm sick and tired of this place. Let's go, Hime. Kurama, we're leaving, he said as they turned to leave. Then Danzo signaled his route to kill the Uzukage as he was too powerful. Kunai were headed his way but were stopped tails. Was this meeting an signed attempt or talks for an alliance? Well, Danzo. He looked straight at the man. Then Kurama wrapped one of his tails around the man and brought him in front of the Uzukage. For crimes against the Uzukage, you will be eliminated, Hinata said in a serious tone, shocking her father. Wait, please don't kill him. He tried to kill me, so in exchange for Uzushio to not call war on Konoha, I'll kill him, he stated. Can't we work something out? Koharu said. Danzo was going to be a great asset to the upcoming war. Fine then, in exchange of his life, I get to take anyone who is a Konoha citizen, alright? You can't take one of our top shinobis like Kakashi, a councilman said. No, I'll take a civilian, but not now. As for Hatake, I don't give a shit to what happens to him. He could die for all I care. They stabbed Kakashi, who was there, right through him. He knew what he had done and wanted the boy's forgiveness, but now he saw no way of having it. After signing the agreement, they left the meeting room and they were on their way to a hotel to stay for the night. They went to their hotel room and got a knock on the door. Opening it, they saw it was Konoha 8, their senses and the two Sanis. Tsunade immediately engulfed the blonde boy in the hug, which he returned as he and Hinata were swarmed by their friends. You brat, do you know how worried I was? No, you show up as the Uzukage, she exclaimed. Then there was Ras Al Ghul's daughter. How the hell do you know her? Jiraiya said, well, remember the little girl in the project that was with the dad and me? The one he saw as his daughter? Yeah, I remember seeing her from time to time. Why? Jiraiya said. Then it came to him. No way. That was her? But I don't remember seeing her in the village. It's because she made me keep it a secret and all when she first found out about the villagers' treatment. Let's just say that for a 5-year-old, I was quite possessive to make her not burn down the village. They all shuddered at the thought of the leaf being destroyed. They all thanked and talked about all kinds of questions and generally had a great time. They also found out that the young couple had already had a children almost 2 years of age. You impregnated my cousin at a young age, Neji said darkly. They all sweat dropped at his overprotectiveness. Mama, Neji Nisan, it's alright. Besides, he's the cutest little guy ever. Where is he right now? Naruto said, probably with Miley or another Uzumaki back home, Naruto said. So, they didn't get extinct, huh? Shira said, nope. Anyway, Hinata, he then pointed to the door. She slowly walked over and opened it, suddenly causing a brunette to tremble in it. She looked up and was met with Hinata's look-alike. Hello there, little sister. Do you remember something? Or do you need something? She said. Hinata honestly liked her sister, but she was the one who pushed her away. Do you hate me? She finally managed to say as she looked down. Hinata always loved her sister and always saw her strong. Despite what happened, she suddenly engulfed into a hug by her older sister. Of course I don't, Hanabi-san, she said. She came in and the rest just started to talk again. Even with Kurama, after realizing he had superiority complex of being the strongest Piju, Naruto slipped out unnoticed and went to his parents' grave. Never came here for a while. How are you two? Huh, Mom, guess what? I found the Uzumaki clan. Can you believe it? I actually had family out there, he said as tears started to fall from his eyes as his smile disappeared. I know, Dad. I don't hate you. I know you would want to ask. I came back to this hellhole because I wanted to see you guys again. Can't you believe they had the nerve to ask for an alliance after everything they'd done? He sent someone nearby, 3 people to be exactly. What is this supposed to be, a team reunion? But then again, I wasn't a part of your team, now was I? The 3 figures then emerged. Yes, you are Naruto. You are and still are our friend, Sakura yelled. Wow, now Konoha has hypocrites. Congratulations on going on another low level. Worse than scum, he said sarcastically and clapped his hand. Naruto, she's telling you the truth. We were wrong and we're really sorry about what we did. Just give us a chance, Sasuke said. I did. And do you know where that left me? A chidori right through my chest. And my execution. You wanted me dead. And now you want to apologize? What kind of crazy? You know what? Forget it. I don't need to see you or anyone else. He began to leave and then stopped. Oh yeah, Miley wanted to ask you if you figured out the question she asked you 7 years ago. You had plenty of time, he said looking at him. Sorta. I think she could fill in the blanks. Okay then, I'll tell her later. Walking away, he says, you know Sasuke, there was a time I wanted you as a friend, and that I would have told you so many secrets. Sasuke looked at him wide-eyed, and did the other 3. I was willing to show you my family scrolls and jutsus and train secretly with Kurama in my family home. I even wanted to tell you the truth behind your clan, but no. You were too arrogant and thought everything went your way. You were the village's prince and I was their village's demon. But we still had the same pain. Then there's you, Hatake, Kakashi gulped. Not I'm really save it. I thought that if I was one of your father's it was one of my father's students. Then I could talk to you and trust you too, maybe to tell you I knew about my heritage, but then I found out even you don't know. Goodbye, Team 7 and good riddance, he said and disappeared in the flesh. I don't know about the 3 of you, but I'm not giving up, Sasuke said confidently as the other nodded in agreement. I'll be the friend that Naruto deserved. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this part of, guys. I hope you like this one, and if you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And tomorrow is going to be the final part of this series, and this is Apollo Uchiha and I'm signing out.